Are you struggling to make a fun and exciting combat encounter for your D&D session? Well, let's fix that so you can make an enthralling encounter for your players to be on their tippy toes. Hey everyone, it's Matt with Holistic Homebrew, and today we're going to be covering combat encounters with our Dungeon Master training series. It can be really daunting when you first get started creating a combat encounter. You have all these monsters, you have all these stats, and then you have to keep track of it while trying to fight the players and trying to make it so everything is fun and exciting for the entire group. So the first thing that we're going to cover is what is the outcome that we're going to be going for this entire combat encounter. You have to decide early on these encounters what you're aiming for the party to do. So do you want the players to succeed in killing the monsters, or do you want to make it so the party gets captured by the BBEG, or they succeed in killing the big bad evil guy? However, one of the players died, or they lose a favorite NPC. These are the kind of outcomes that you're looking for when you create a combat encounter. So first things first, decide on what outcome you want to happen from this combat encounter. Once you've decided on the outcome that you'd like, now we have to focus on the objective of this combat encounter. Sometimes it can be random encounters. We'll cover that later on in this series, but for now we're going to be going for an objective. So is this combat encounter in order to make peace because there's a disturbance with a group of bandits? Or are you trying to protect an NPC or an object? Or are you trying to retrieve an object? You can also make it so you're stopping a ritual, or they're running a gauntlet. There's many different objectives that you can focus on. One of the main ones I always end up choosing is making peace, because it's much easier to just fight things than it is to, focus on gathering an object or something. The next thing that I like to focus on is choosing the difficulty of this combat encounter. You want it to be easy, medium, hard, or deadly. Normally within a day, you're going to be throwing multiple easy combat encounters at the party, so they start draining the resources. You could possibly throw 3 to 4 easy encounters at the party. Or you can do a couple easy and then a hard combat encounter, so then the players feel like they've earned that reward from the enemy. If you're wanting to make the players really think and really strive to be the best, throw a couple deadly encounters at your party. These can really do a lot of damage towards the party. Now that you've decided the difficulty level of this combat encounter, now we're going to throw a few things into the combat encounter that will make it a fun encounter. So one of the things you could use is different terrains. You can make it so there's difficult terrain, they're on a frayed rope bridge, or there's pools of acid around the entire combat area. You can also use different elevations. You can make it so there's a pit, ledges, balconies. Try and throw some things in there so to make the players think and make them move around the entire battlefield. You can make it so there's a chandelier, a couple kegs of black powder, just things that will make the players think about what they can do to be a little bit more creative in the combat. Don't be afraid to throw a few enemies that are in defensive positions. Make sure so you have the archer who's in the top corner and they have to try and figure out how to get to him, whether it's ranged weapons or climbing up there themselves. And one of the best things that you can do to make the combat encounter more fun is throwing different enemies at the players. So mix up, like you could have kobolds with goblins, you can have goblins with hobgoblins. There's endless possibilities. Just look through the monster manual and trying to figure out a couple monsters that are within the CR rating that you would like to use. This is how I got started making combat encounters for my group. I'd love to hear about some of the combat encounters that y'all have created, so feel free to write them down in the comments below. If you like some of the content I've been posting, feel free to like and subscribe. Don't be afraid to let me know about any of the information that I missed, or if there's any information that this community needs to know about creating combat encounters. Till next week, keep on rolling.